Floating is one of the 3 most useful techniques in the Serenitea Pot. You can achieve floating using a few different methods, but the principle is the same. Others include sinking and clipping. As of the 3.1 update, clipping is automatic and can be done with the main building. First, it helps to understand the range of your camera. The more you zoom in, the more downward you look. The camera moves along a sort of unseen 45-degree slide anchored at the bottom, so you'll notice it becomes difficult to work near the borders when zoomed out. For instructional purposes, we'll call areas you can't move furnishings to, such as sea and sky, void. Where you're able to move a furnishing is restricted to the field of vision of your camera. For the underhand technique, first, position your furnishing where you want it to float. Then zoom outward and look upwards as much as you can to view the underside of the furnishing. The void behind the furnishing will be sky. Select the underside of the furnishing and bump the analog stick to move it. It should flash from red back to blue, indicating it is locked in place. Remove the terrain from underneath it and allow it to float. Zooming all the way out isn't enough to click the bottom of furnishings higher than 25 points, and getting closer to the ground points the camera downwards. Because of this, it's impossible to do the underhand method at the low and high ends. To do the overhand technique, move the furnishing to the edge of a landform and angle the camera to place void behind it. Bump the analog stick until the bounding box flashes red and back to blue. Press X to place and lock it in place. Remove the landform from underneath and allow it to float. Overhand can be done at almost any height, but it's difficult in areas where void can't be moved behind the furnishing. For more precise positioning using overhand, I recommend moving the furnishing to a landform smaller than its bounding box. To do this, you will need to lift the anchor. Every furnishing has an anchor point in the center of its bounding box. As long as the 4 corners and the anchor are supported, the furnishing can be placed, and then can be lifted by the anchor. For furnishings with more than 4 corners, you'll need to cover all the inner and outer corners to place it. To lift the anchor, disable height lock and lower a floating platform into another landform so that it peaks above the surface about 0.2 points. Place the furnishing centered on it. You'll be able to see it rise slightly when the anchor is on the floating platform. Move the landform away to ensure that the anchor has been lifted. Then position the floating platform to your liking. Now when using overhand, it will shift less. The same principle applies when using both the underhand and overhand methods. When the anchor has nowhere to go, the furniture locks. Knowing this, we can use a new method to float objects precisely at any height and as close to the border as we like. This method I like to call vacant camera. If void can't be placed behind your furnishing, you can use a vacant camera to float it anyway. Select the furnishing and move the camera away. Angle it towards void. Bump the analog stick. You should hear a sound and the place button appears. Press X. Your furnishing is now floating. Go back to it and remove the landform from beneath it to allow it to float. Tips and tricks. You may have heard something about a snowman method, but this does not work for the PS4. As you can see, clicking on the snowman's head either selects the snowman, or it selects the furnishing behind it, and nothing floats. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure and give it a like, and share it with your friends. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, and let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see next.